You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Fish fans? Welcome to your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. I think the level was a little hot, although it might be this shirt, man. I'll tell you what. This shirt is banging, and so were the Marlins today. I mean, the Phillies have scored 26 runs in 3 games, and, hey, they're up 2-1 in the series. As a result, the Marlins win today in Miami, and a 9-5 victory, home runs all over the field for the Marlins. Otto López he doesn't almost hit for the cycle. Again, he's a triple shy, and he never hits triple, so it's not really that close to the cycle, but he did get all 3 other hits that he would have needed to hit for the cycle if he actually were a threat to hit a triple, which would have to be an act of God for him to do for the most part. So, yeah, but we tend to get a little too carried away with the hyperbole, but not when it comes to the game that the Marlins had today across the board. How about Miami bringing the sticks this afternoon? 14 hits for the Marlins. Each team had 2 errors. Comedy of errors. Trea Turner with a throwing error for the Phillies, along with Cody Clemens, their shortstop, their third baseman. Marlins throwing the ball around as usual, but 14 hits for Miami, 11 for the Phils. Trea Turner, another 0-for, by the way, for Philly. It's been tough on him lately. And when you think about the year that those guys have had, Harper's been cooling off a lot lately too, hitting 283, Turner 297, Schwarber's at 249 after today. It was really Bryson Stott, and he's had a great series for Philadelphia across the board. 3 for 4 today with an RBI and a run scored. Rojas hit a triple for Philly. Stubbs was 2 for 4. Castellanos 2 for 4. And, yeah, the Marlins just brought the noise today. And, not a good outing for McMillon for Miami. And McMillon got the win. And a lot of moves made by the Marlins today. We're going to have to get to that as the show goes on. We're going to have to get to the moves they made, the musical Marlins. You'll see that momentarily. But looking at the box score, right? I mean, the Marlins, they gave up that first inning run, 2-run homer by Connor Norby in the bottom of the first. They took the lead. They never gave the lead back. Each team scored a run in the third. The Marlins with 1 in the fourth. Each team with 1 in the fifth. Marlins with 1 in the sixth and 3 in the seventh. Then Philly with 2 in the eighth to wrap up the scoring. How about the box score? Xavier Edwards at the top, 2 for 5, 2 runs scored. Connor Norby in the 2-hole. Connor, man, I like this dude. 2 for 5 with a run scored. 3 RBIs, had the homer, and a big day for Norby. Jesus Sanchez, 2 for 4, an RBI and a run scored in the 3-hole. Jonah Bride, 2 for 4, run scored and an RBI. That was a solo home run, his 7th of the year, I want to say. So 6th. Lopez hit his 4th, Bride hit his 6th, and Norby hit his 6th. And that's Otto López' 4th home run. I'll get to him in a minute. Stowers 0 for 5 with 2 Ks. He was, I believe, besides Hensley, who was 0 for 2, the only Marlins starter to not record a hit. And that definitely is true. Pache replaced him, didn't get an at-bat. Replaced him in the field. Griffin Conine was 1 for 4 with a run scored. Fortes 2 for 4 with a run scored. And, yeah, how about Sanoja with his first big league RBI and the first pitch he saw, and an RBI ground out. But the star of the day for the Marlins, automatic. The way to control it, just talk to the automan whenever he's around. Automatic. Otto López, everything but the triple, baby. Everything but the triple. Jacked the home run today, a big one in this game, and had everything but. And even though they were 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position, they still had 14 hits, and they still scored 9 runs. Imagine if that 3 for 15 had turned into like a 6 for 15. They had a 20-run game, but a big game. How many games do you see where you have 5 guys with 2 hits and a guy with 3? That's 13 hits from 6 players in your lineup. That's a big day for those guys. A nice job by Miami to pick up the win, and the offense getting better, and the pitching, the relievers were good, except for Bender wasn't good today, and we have some moves that we need to get to in this game. But, when you think about what happened today, in Miami. Otto López, a triple shy of the cycle. Connor Norby with a homer, driving in 3 runs. Philadelphia had won 6 games in a row coming into this series. Or into this game, I should say, the first 2 games of this series. 16-2 yesterday, right? Yeah. And how about those Miami Hurricanes? Another big win today over FAMU. Dolphins open up tomorrow. We have the postcast for both teams right here on your Locked On Sports Miami YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, by the way. Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean. But yeah, man, it was a busy day. 4 new players added to the roster, moves made, injured list, things like that. But man, John McMillon, one of the 3rd innings relief, and they did well today against Aaron Nola. He's 12-7, 5 runs, 9 hits over 4 2/3 for Nola. Walked 2, struck out 5, shortest start since he allowed a snowman 8 spot. And that was on 11 hits against Boston on June 13th. He just couldn't command the baseball, couldn't hit his spots today. And yeah, the plan was just to let him pitch. I mean, Bride hit the home run, Sanchez the RBI single. Yep. Turner's throwing error scores Conine and Fortes, and that was a big play in the game. Phillies were able to tie it in the 3rd. The Marlins take the lead right back. Unbelievable, man. Crazy day for Miami, but let's see. Edward Cabrera was supposed to start Friday, didn't start. Migraine-like symptoms, might pitch tomorrow for Miami in the series finale. All kinds of roster moves for the Marlins. There's going to be a lot for us to keep up here when you're Locked On Marlins postcast. I mean, Castellanos singles in Schwarber in the 1st inning for Philly. Norby homers to center. Edwards scores for Miami. Schwarber the sac fly in the 3rd. It's 2-2. Then in the bottom of the 3rd, Bride reaches on an infield single. Sanchez scores on a throwing error by Clemens, makes it 3-2. In the 4th, Norby singles in Lopez, makes it 4-2. Stubbs bunt single, scores Rojas, makes it 4-3. Phillies chipping away. Marlins make it 5-3. Bride's homer to lead off the 5th inning, 367 feet, makes 5-3. Sanchez singles in Edwards, 6-3. Lopez homer to center, makes it 7-3. Sanoja's ground out to shortstop, and then Turner throws it away. Conine and Fortes score. It's 9-3. Stott doubles in Castellanos, 9-4. Marsh singles to center. Stott scores 9-5. Both those runs scored in the 8th inning. And yeah, I mean, it was a long game for these two teams. It was 2 hours and 53 minutes, but another beautiful day in Lone Depot Park. Obviously, it's dope in there. And the season series, 7-5 now, Philly. We'll get to that more on that as we continue to move along in the show. But, a good job by Miami to get that win today. They hit the ball really well against a tough pitcher. And Nola didn't have his command. They took the strike zone away from him. And a really nice job by Miami across the board in this game today doing that. Just doing what they needed to do with it, just taking advantage of the mistakes that Nola was making. He doesn't normally make mistakes like that. He couldn't locate his pitches, a lot of balls up in the zone, a lot of balls out over the plate. Hitters are able to drive. I mean, the pitch to Jonah Bride was like literally just below chest high. Easy kill shot for Jonah. And it was gonna be hit hard somewhere. There was gonna be a line drive hit somewhere off that pitch because that's just kind of how he threw it in. Norby's night. Norby had the homer, the RBI single, automatic, everything but the triple for Otto López. You everydayers know he can have his games. What says Miami more than this shirt, by the way? Like that linen style right there. You know what I'm saying? Marlins blast the Phils. Good game for Miami. Home run derby. They had 3 home runs tonight, 14 hits for the Marlins. You are watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. It's been a big weekend so far in Miami, and it is only going to get bigger. How about the Marlins getting back on track against the Phillies, winning 1 of the 3 so far? They're 7-5 against the Marlins this season. The Phillies, good job by Miami against one of the best teams in baseball this year. The NL East leading first place, Philadelphia Phillies. All right, so there you go. And then you had the Miami Hurricanes blowing out FAMU today. They were favored by 47.5. They won by 47, 56-9. And then you have the Dolphins tomorrow with the season debut. Tua, Hill, Waddle, Mostert, Kane, the track meet, all those guys running sub 4.5, all those great defensive players with Calais Campbell coming back this year to Miami, and back meaning he played at the U, the last game at the Orange Bowl for that matter. Big game for Miami tomorrow. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern, and we will be here right afterwards against Jacksonville, by the way. We'll be here with the postcast right after. Did the Canes postcast today. That's why this show's late. Tonight, what a day it's been. What a weekend it is going to be on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We want to thank you for making us your first watch/listen every day. Free, available wherever you get your podcasts and here on YouTube. And tonight's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play 5 with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million users. We'll be right back after these words. More of your Locked On Marlins postcast 9-5. They blast the Phillies off the field in the MIA. Yo, every day I'm hustling. I bought it too. I bought it with Ibotta. That's right. Ibotta. 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 You bought a what? That's exactly what I'm about to tell you to do right here. You know you do a lot of shopping because we all do in this world, man. You can't get away from it. Every time you turn around, you're spending cash. Well, how about this? It's summertime, right? You did this already. The sandals, the sunscreen, the snacks for the kids, the picnics, the vacations, all the things you can spend money on. It is time to start getting money back on those purchases. That's right. Ibotta is the free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. It's that simple. You can earn on hundreds of items from groceries, right? Everybody needs groceries to beauty supplies. Not everybody needs beauty supplies, but toys. We all need toys. So you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing with Ibotta. You're getting money back. The average Ibotta user earns $256 a year. That could cover the cost of another shopping trip. It could be the flight, part of a trip you've been wanting to take, the fancy dinner you've been craving. Look, other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, you earn cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, gift cards. Simply add offers in the app, upload your receipt, and voila! The money is yours. You can save on over 2,400 brands. I said 2,400 brands, and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy. You get where I'm going with this. It's time you join the over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every time they shop. And right now, here's where it gets good, baby. Right now, Ibotta is offering our viewers and listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta. IBOTTA. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store, Google Play Store, download the free Ibotta app, IBOTTA, to start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get cash back on all your purchases with Ibotta. Thank you for making your Locked On Marlins postcast your first watch/listen today, although it's your second because you watched Locked On Canes postcast with me earlier today. But how about for your third listen? You're right. You're reading me. You follow me. Let's go. Check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully, is here daily. Going to provide that national expertise with that trademark humor. Going to help get you ready for the MLB playoffs here in the dog days, right? Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully. He's got it covered every single day on Locked On MLB. Available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And I say it, and I ask you this question every day. You everydayers know this, right? Have you ever loved somebody so much it made you? No, I'm just kidding. Have you ever met a dude named Sully and hung out with a dude named Sully that you didn't want to drink beers and talk sports with? I rest my case. Locked On MLB with Sully. There you have it. Jim Greasehaber calling me Grease. A big blowout win for the Marlins today, and it was never really close. They kept scoring more runs. Every time the Phillies would either tie it or get close, the Marlins would add more. Timely hitting today for this team. Very timely hitting, actually, for Miami in this game. Very timely hitting. Some big hits in this game the Norby 2-run homer. Edwards singles, gets the game. How many times has he done this? Start a game or an inning, getting on base, then Norby homers, bang, it's 2-zip or 2-1 because Castellanos drove in the run in the first inning for Philly. But, every time it was timely hitting. Schwarber ties it with a sac fly. Then in the third, it's an infield single for Jonah Bride that, leads to the throwing error by Clemens. Bottom four, Norby singles in Lopez. It's 4-2. Philly chips to 4-3. Then Bride homers to make it 5-3. Clutch hits. Sanchez single, drives in a run. That's what it was all about for Miami today. The clutch hits that kept them, not only in this game, but had them in position to win it throughout. And you know what? That's huge for this team right now to be able to have done that and to have a night like tonight. And, they did it without Jake Berger in the lineup, taking the night off. And, that's going to happen with Berger, right? He lost 16-2 a day ago. It was an absolute nightmare with Cabrera not making his start. And, oh, boy, and we got tomorrow wrapping up the series between these two teams. And, it'll probably be Cabrera getting that start tomorrow. And interestingly enough, if the Marlins split this series and they finish 6-7 against the Phillies this year, no chance to finish with a winning record against them. But looking at the Phillies, if they don't end up with the best record in the National League and they don't end up with home field advantage in the playoffs, they're going to win the division. It's pretty much a wrap at this point. The Phillies are 7 games up on the Mets, 8 games up on the Braves. You know what I'm saying? And they are tied with the Dodgers for the best record in the National League. Now, imagine with the Padres 5 games behind the Dodgers at 81 wins, only 380 in the Brewers at 82, 480 win teams in the NL. Imagine with the Brewers at 82 wins, the Dodgers at 85, the Phillies at 85. Imagine if the Phillies are not the team with the best record in the National League and they don't get home field throughout. And it's because they end up like 7-5 or 7-6 against the Marlins. Think about that. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Meanwhile, in the American League, you got the Orioles and Yankees still within a half game of one another. They're literally not splitting apart or no team separating at all there. The Guardians are 81-61, half game behind Orioles. And those 3 teams fighting it out for home field in the American League. And how about Teoscar Hernandez taking a pitch off the foot? Rangers going to get Jacob deGrom back. That's not going to be fun for anybody in the American League. I can promise you that. Let's put this guy back over here. It's my daughter gave it to me. It's my little flamingo. We moved it over there earlier. South Florida's finest little flamingo right there. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, watching the Locked On Marlins postcast. 9-5, they beat the Phillies today. Haven't been many games this year where they got more clutch hits than they did today. Haven't been many games this year where they had more home runs and hits. 3 home runs, 14 hits, an extra base parade for Miami today. How about that? How many extra base hits overall? 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Sanchez has 59 RBIs. They left 10 on base, went 3 for 15, runners in scoring position. They actually had, 2 stolen bases today. Interesting job by Miami. Used 5 pitchers. Long game. Looked like an old American League game. Have to hit that scoreboard. Look ahead to tomorrow's game for you in just a minute. Nice win by Miami. Again, no Berger in the lineup, but Norby in that 2 holes really good with Edwards up top. And then when you trade a Rise and you trade Bell and you trade DLC and you trade Jazz, you could see trading any of those guys. You don't never want to trade Luis Arraez, best hitter in baseball, or Tanner Scott, the best closer in my mind. But, it is what it is. You're going to have nights like tonight. And they've played the Phillies well this year. Scored a lot of runs against the Phillies this season. Miami has. Look at this season series. This series alone, they've scored 13, but 9 of them tonight. Look at the Marlins against the Phillies this year. They scored 2, they scored 3, they scored 7, they scored 7. They scored none, they scored 3, they scored 6, they scored 5, they scored 5, they scored 2, they scored 2, they scored 9. A lot of big output games against this Philadelphia team for Miami. For real. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. 9-5, they beat the Phillies tonight at Lone Depot Park in Miami. The Canes won at Hard Rock. and the Dolphins tomorrow looking to do the same. Could it be a clean sweep in South Florida? We're going to look ahead to tomorrow's matchup with the Marlins, and we're going to do it on the other side. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. The season finale between the Phillies and the Fish tomorrow in Miami. We'll talk about it next on the Locked On Podcast Network. Locked On Marlins, your team every day. You know the deal. You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. You know this. Over 5 million active members at Prize Picks. It's the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps at Prize Picks, just you against the numbers. That's it. It's just you against the numbers. Don't you like your odds when it's just you against the numbers? All you do is pick more, pick less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and then you just watch the winnings roll in with Prize Picks. For example, NFL opening week is this week, right? 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. You're only picking 4 to 6. He's a guaranteed win with 1 yard every single week because it's gone when September ends. But you got it till September ends. No doubt about that, right? You can win 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks, and Caleb Williams is one of them with just 1 right there. 1 yard, and you win. It's available in 30 states plus, California, Texas, Georgia. You can do it with celebrities like Sugar Sean O'Malley, Joe Budden, Drewski. It's the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. How about that? No doubt. Withdrawals are fast, safe, secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Just like that. They have flex play. They invented it. As a matter of fact, it means you can still cash out. If your lineup isn't perfect, you can double your money, even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So what are you going to do? What you going to do, brother? When the largest arms in the world, I don't know where they are, but when the largest arms in the world download Prize Picks for you. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed from Prize Picks. Run your game. There we have it. Locked On Marlins postcast on your Saturday. The Canes winners today. 9-point win, 56-9, a 47-point win, I should say, when they were favored by 47.5. They beat FAMU. No band of the hour at the game. They didn't travel down. Your only job, look, you get paid a fortune to come play us. You don't bring the band of the hour. There must have been something there where they got ticked off by Miami or something, or I don't know. They don't bring it's the only reason anybody invites FAMU anywhere is the band of the hour. And the band of the hour did not show up today. Was it the band of the hour or the FAMU marching band? Sorry, University of Miami band is the band of the hour. I should know. I went to school there. It's the marching band from FAMU, but they did not come. You know what I'm saying? No bueno. Okay, where are we at here? We got the 9-5 win for the Marlins. Tomorrow's game. Let's hit that before we get on up. Get on up. Let's hit the scores real quick. Look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. Yankees 2, Cubs nothing. Nats 5, Pirates 3, Rays 7, Orioles 1. Yankees win, Orioles lose. The Yanks gain a game in the AL East. How about the Tigers and Athletics? The A's lose 2-1. Shocker there. They're on their way to Vegas. Diamondbacks and Astros. Astros 11-5 over Arizona. The Mets shut out the Reds 4-zip. They are just on cruise right now. Again, the Marlins, Phillies 9-5 Miami. Nationals beat the Pirates 8-6 in the second of their doubleheader. The Rangers topped the Angels 6-4. It was the Brewers 5, the Rockies 2. Red Sox beat the White Sox 7-5. Another loss for Chi-Town. Roll now. 4-2 Royals over the Twins. Cardinals shut out the Mariners 2-0. 9-5 Blue Jays on top of the Braves. Padres lose to the Giants 6-3 at home. And the Dodgers pound the Guardians 7-2. 2 with a 6-run first inning for the Dodgers. How about that smoke show in LA? Meanwhile, these two teams tomorrow going to wrap up their season series. How about that? There will be no more games against the Philadelphia Phillies after 1:40 p.m. tomorrow. So there you have it. You got Edward Cabrera starting for Miami. Seth Johnson came over from the Orioles, going to start for the Phillies. Philadelphia is minus 130, Miami plus 110. The total's 8.5. Even money on the over, minus 120 on the under. The Phillies is 60.1% matchup predictor favorite. Supposed to be 85 degrees and beautiful in South Florida tomorrow. But Edward Cabrera has been pretty good. And the Phillies, yeah, they've been hitting. They scored a lot of runs in this series. But I think Cabrera could keep them with the under. But with Seth Johnson pitching, I don't know. Ow, for the Phillies. Sorry, I just tweaked my back there. But with Seth Johnson and Cabrera on the mound, I might be tempted to take the over. But I like the Marlins to win this game and draw to within a game of the Phillies on the season series at 7-6 by the time this one is done. And, you know, they got the win today. Maybe a little bit of momentum as they kind of keep it going the rest of the way. And again, you got the Phillies, and then you go to Pittsburgh, to Washington, Dodgers in Atlanta back-to-back for the final homestand, 6 games there through the 22nd. Then you got Minnesota and Toronto, and just like that, it'll be just about cool. The weather will be all right. It won't be long, but the big one tomorrow against the Phillies, last game of the season against them, if you can believe it. Remember, they did not play Philadelphia early in the second half, or early in the season for that matter. Didn't play them until May 10th. That first month went by without a Phillies game. But again, just in case you missed it, all kinds of good things today. Edwards, 2 for 5, 2 runs scored. Norby, 2 for 5, 3 RBI and a run scored. Sanchez, 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Bride, 2 for 4, run scored, RBI and a home run. 3 for 5 for Otto López, 2 runs and an RBI, as well as the homer, just a triple shy of the cycle. Griffin Conine, 1 for 4 with a run scored. Nick Fortes, 2 for 4 with a run scored. A big game for Miami, and Tinoco closed it out with another 0 on the mound. Declan Cronin and McMillon, who got the win. Johnny McMillon got the win. They also allowed no runs in their appearances today. Excuse me. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. Locked On Marlins postcast on your Saturday. Finishing up a big day on the Miami sports scene. The Canes beat FAMU by 46 points or 47, whatever it was. The Dolphins open up tomorrow against Jacksonville. We'll have the postcast after that game. And then the Marlins, 9-5 over the Phillies. What a win it was. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Reminding you, as always, to keep your game tight and your mind right, Fish fan. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making Locked On Marlins postcast your first listen today. Now go watch Sully, Locked On MLB podcast. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Fish fans. We are out.